Hey guys, so we are here with a very special, wonderful, fantastic announcement. We are pregnant. Well, I'm pregnant. We are still returning to Brazil next month, June 14th. We had purchased those tickets. We felt at peace about that. We just now heard the heartbeat. After the miscarriage, we were very careful to be careful, and it's been 6 weeks of a lot of morning sickness. It's been a rough first trimester, but we're almost done. Almost done with that. Crazy how God works. Our original plan had been to come to the US and be here for just the first trimester, just because that's when the most development is happening, and when it would probably be the safest to be away from the Zika risk. And so that is what happened. We had found out we were pregnant in February. We had planned to stay for the whole year, and then we had the miscarriage. And so it's been crazy to see how God has changed the plans, and we don't have all the answers to why, but we are excited on the path that He has us. To answer a couple questions about Zika, for those of you who are worried, there has not been a lot of studies that have happened this past year. There are 3 big studies, so I have those links in the description below. One of them was the official CDC report. One is a report from the New England Journal done just in Northeast Brazil, so studying the area where we are at. And one was just last week. They announced, Brazil officially announced that the Zika crisis is over, because I believe they have about 95% less Zika cases than they did last year. The CDC report, if you want to read through it, you can, but the main headlines that were shared was basically that in the US, 1 out of 10 women in the southern US where they got Zika had problems with microcephaly, so had birth defects. And so that's just about what it was in Brazil. I think it was 13% the last time that when we were worried about the risk in Brazil. That they did prove that it is more risky in the first trimester. That's what we had thought and why we were here in the US for the first trimester, but that it was still able to be acquired in the other future trimesters and still have some birth defect problems, normally not as severe. We really appreciated the New England Journal from Northeast Brazil, and basically it was saying what happened, why are there so many fewer cases than expected. And we were talking about in Brazil, we were just talking about since 2015, I mean there was a little talk in 2016 around the Olympics, but there has not been hardly any mention about Zika or microcephaly around where we live in Brazil. Just the discussion went basically to zero. And we were like, well, what happened? And basically what happened was in 2015, when we had Zika, when I was 7 months pregnant with Ana Sofia, basically everybody around us got Zika. Like everybody, like the schools were empty for a couple of weeks because everybody was getting Zika, and it was almost like a wave. And so this is all hypothesis, not proven yet. That takes longer, but the article is basically explaining that they feel that Zika comes in waves. So that wave was definitely in 2015 when Kate and I had Zika. And 23 weeks later was when the microcephaly started peaking, and they started having all of these cases of microcephaly in the birthed babies. And so what they did is in 2015, after this outbreak occurred, they hypothesized that in 2016 they should have at least 1,000 microcephaly births. I believe just in my area, Northeast Brazil. And what happened was in 2016 there were 81. And so they were like, why is there so much fewer? And so they're studying it, and they believe that in some ways the microcephaly and Zika, it comes in more of like a wave. So actually, if this is true, the wave is actually just coming to the southern part of the continental US, so I actually might be safer in Brazil than in the southern part of the US, just because it's already passed. And we don't know if it's like chickenpox. If you get it once, you can't get it again, or you don't get it as severe, or how many years you're immune. There is nothing proven still. There's still just, most of it is all just speculation. But this speculation seems to be in our favor, and we are grateful for that. We are excited, and we do not know if it's a boy or a girl, but we did hear a healthy heartbeat today, and that was a blessing. So the due date is around the beginning of December, so God knows.